Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack, just like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at. Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. I am your host, Scott Lewis, per usual. Wow, man, it is January 9th, 2026. This is the first show of the new year, man. You got the whole gang here today. It's your boy, Scott. You can follow me at BarberJustScott on all social media platforms. Follow JR Bang at JR Bang, and also follow Dante at October's Own Tay, man. Of course, subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/BarberChat Network. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, all those links in the description box right now. So click all those links, get in tune with everything we're doing. If you're a Patreon subscriber, there is a new episode of Summer Sessions out right now. So go check that one out, man. So yeah, big show on deck today. Big Bears playoff game tomorrow, the first Bears playoff game in 7 years. And yes, I'm skipping over 2020 because that was COVID and nobody really cares about anything happening in COVID sports, especially with nobody in the crowd. So this is the first playoff game to me in 7 years. First one in Soldier Field in 7 years as well. Bears, Packers. We're going to do a complete full preview, everything, picks, bold predictions, storylines, whole deal. And then we're also going to be breaking down the other games in Wild Card Weekend, which is hilarious because before today, haven't really thought about it. Haven't really been thought about not any of them games. I've been completely wrapped up in the Bears, Packers, story all this week in Chicago. But we will preview and pick those later as well, man. How you guys feeling?
I feel great, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Banger's on mute, and he gonna have to find himself. But I feel amazing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know a lot of Bears fans have been iffy.
Damn, I wasn't even trying to talk yet, Dante. Like, I knew I was on.
I know Bear fans, some Bear fans are iffy, but I think, this is set up to really kick off the way we wanted and needed to kick off for the sake of, we talked about turning the page, and we're going to get into this, of course, but I'm excited. I'm extremely excited for the playoff game. I'm excited for the game tonight. There are more white people in downtown Atlanta than I've ever seen in my life, unless UGA was playing. But it is crimson and creamed out down here, so I expect a heavy crowd in the bands for Indiana. I think it's gonna be a good game, but I think that's gonna be a heavy Indiana crowd tonight. But I'm solid. How y'all feeling?
Hey man, shouts out to all of the Indianimals.
It's a lot of them, G.
There. All of the Indianimals down there kicking it with the AT aliens. I'm feeling good. I will be in the building tomorrow for the game. Got my snowsuit just in case it is accumulative snow like they talking about. I have not had a snowsuit since 1988. You know what I'm saying? So it's lit. I'm ready. I'm ready to get slapped. I'm ready to see playoff football. I've not been to a playoff football game ever. I've never been to a Green Bay Packers game ever, a Bears Green Bay game. So I'm all around lit.
Yeah, I've been going through is myriad the right word? I don't know. I went to Chicago Public School. I think myriad is the right word. Myriad of emotions.
That's acceptable.
this week. But yeah, man, I today I'm calm. I almost had a panic attack last night when I was watching Miami and Ole Miss. Just the stress from that game and seeing the fans' reactions on both sides in that game, I was like, how am I going to get through Saturday? Number one, how am I going to get through Saturday in a professional level? And I had to keep telling myself all week, you are not here as just as a fan. You are here as a media member. Because if anybody follows me on social media, I definitely know Bang and Dante know this because we was in the chat. I absolutely crashed out 3 weeks ago when we were playing Green Bay. Like I was the entire game, I was crashing clean out. So I don't want to do that this time. I want to stay professional, things like that. So today I'm calm. First time I've been calm. I was a bitch the first 3 days of this week. Like, I don't say three, first 2 days. I'll say three if we include all of Sunday. So Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I was acting real pussy. Today I have a calmness about it because it's like, you know, we just gotta do what we gotta do. It is what it is. It has to come down to this way. Also, like Bane, this is my first playoff game. It hasn't even clicked in my head that this is my first playoff game covering. I will be taking a picture in front of the wild card logo on the field. The field crew just gonna have to get mad. Like win or loss, I'm doing that. Okay, they just gonna have to get mad. I've been waiting.
That's usually how it go. That's
You
usually
said what?
I said as long as you don't step on it, you good. That's usually how it go. They just don't.
I ain't gonna step on it, but I'm going to step on the field. That is for sure. I'm going to step on the field because from the angles of the field, you really can't see it. But you know, anyway. But today I'm calm. I think it'll be a moment that I appreciate. After it's over. But for right now, I'm just thinking about the game. But yeah, man, I'm as good as I'm gonna be. So I went to Hallis Hall yesterday, which went there strictly to calm my nerves, not because it's work and I gotta go do cover practice. They didn't really let us watch practice yesterday. Like usually when we cover practice, we get to stay out there for the first 15, 20 minutes. You know, we get to watch watch them stretch, and we get to watch, like position drills. So like you'll see like the running backs or the quarterbacks throw, wide receivers. We got to watch them stretch. And head of communication like, all right, y'all, that's it. I was like, oh, y'all practicing for real. So we was out there for maybe 10 minutes. So that calmed my nerves a little bit because I could see that everybody was dialed in. Now, whether that translates on the field or not, you never know. But one thing that I would be stunned about is if they don't come to play, because I feel like everybody has moved on. I feel like everybody knows the 0-0. And yeah, man, it's I was in the car ride heading back home, and I was like, I was trying to tell myself, oh, it's just a game. If you lose, it's fine. That bullshit that your girl or somebody in your life will tell you because they don't live through the shit. And they're like, oh, you still have life and da 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 da. But my brain wasn't registering it, and it's still not registering it. Like at all. I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. If it was a regular playoff game, and I've said this for the last 3 weeks. It was the Rams, the Niners, the Eagles, whoever. Of course, I'd have the regular post-game, pre-game jitters, but I wouldn't feel like my life is on the line like I do. We cannot lose to them. I just can't. There's no way people can pretty it up. We'll get into how we'll look at the season, win or lose this later on in the show. But it don't even got nothing to do with the playoffs. Like it has nothing. It is that team. I am tired of losing to. This is not my first Bears Packers game. This is like my fifth. I think this is my fifth Bears Packers game since I've been covering it, and I am 1-3 in the first four. Okay, it will include my personal record because I wasn't there when Cairo Santos hit that game-winning field goal. I was like, I'm not driving out there when we already lost like 10 in a row. So that's what I'm at. I'm as good as I'm going to be. Now, tomorrow the game is at 7. I usually try to get to Soldier Field about an hour and a half before game time, but I'm leaving the house at 3:30 for 2 reasons. Main reason being traffic 3 weeks ago to get there was god awful. And I left the house early. I left at like 5 3 weeks ago, and I didn't walk into Soldier Field like 6:45. I was on Lakeshore Drive for at least an hour. So, and that was a regular season game. So I know tomorrow is going to be times 30. So I'm leaving out there also to calm my nerves. Like I'm not gonna know what happened in Rams Panthers till that game is over. Like I'm not even gonna lie. If I gotta walk around the stadium, something, whatever. So for people who new to this show or new to any content I do, I got a lot of teams. I got all my sports teams, but the Bears are number one. The Bears are number one. Like if you ask me, who do I love more, the Bears or I don't know, my mother, you don't want me to really answer that question. Like that's my obsession with this team. 25 years long. I have seen a multitude of new fans this season, and I envy them because you don't have the 25-year battle scars. We all have them. All three of them. We're all lifelong Bears fans. I don't know if y'all saw the video that the Bears tweeted out on their social media today when they had like these kid Bear fans and they're tweeting all these and they're sending all these positive messages to the Bears. I was like, look, listen to the innocence of these children. These are not the voices of people who saw Shane Matthews get picked off 2 times in the 0-1 playoffs after Hugh Douglas took out Jim Miller. They're not even old enough to be able to double doing it. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have any scars. To them, it's just, oh my God, the Bears get, and that's what I want for the children. I want for everybody who are kids right now, I want for my future niece and nephew to live in a world where they know nothing about good things with the Bears. Do you think anybody who is 25 and younger know anything bad about the Boston Red Sox? No. Do you think anybody 25 and under fears the New York Yankees? No. Ask somebody our age about the New York Yankees. Even though they've been beating them for 20 years now, they still have the, oh yeah, I mean, we couldn't get them. And that's why I want to get into the first topic of today, of getting our monkey off our back. Now, I usually don't frequent a lot of local content during game week, not because I don't think it's any good or anything. I just like to stay in my own world for the most part. But I watched a lot of the content on 670 The Score this week. They've been, like I said, they've been doing a good job of uploading stuff. Like, I think ESPN does too. I watched a lot of Waddle and Sylvie. Of course, our homies, Captain J Hood, friends of the program. And I feel like the overall sentiment across the city is nervousness. And I feel like 3 weeks ago, it was more confident, like, oh, we finna get him. Even me, I said seconds after we lost to Green Bay. I was trying to calm Bang down. I was like, no, we got him. We got him in a couple weeks. Now, oh my God. No, I am shook daddy in the family. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the rest of the city is feeling that. But it was a lot of good content this week. You know, from all these different beat writers from, of course, the Bears media, from the Packers media, giving the Packers side, national media. Dan Orlovsky gave a very controversial opinion saying the Bears have no chance. While I don't agree with that, his reasoning for thinking we don't have a chance actually made sense. So I had a problem with the actual result base more than the analysis of why he thought that. Richard Sherman has some good points today. And then, of course, the shit talking from both sides. The Packers are talking a lot. The Bears aren't really talking about love with Austin Booker and what Jaquan Brisker said yesterday. So you really getting the big game vibes here this week. And that's where I'm just kind of like, okay, this is just how it has to go. If the Bears are really going to make this next turn into this new era of Bears football, they've got to look the bully in the eye and finally knock him out. That's just how it's got to be. I know some fan called Mully and Hall today and said they compared this to like Jordan beating the Pistons, and they thought it was a little bit of a stretch because the Pistons were a championship team and the Packers aren't. But I think that's a fair comparison. If you look at any team, any great player who took it to the next level, they always knock off who was in front of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can even look at the Cubs. Look at the Cubs. The Cubs didn't win the World Series. They finally knocked out the St. Louis Cardinals. I remember 2015. 2015, they had a good year. Obviously, didn't win the World Series, but they got to the NLCS. You know, they got washed by the Mets. You took out the Cardinals in the divisional round, in the NLDS. On the road, they did not have home field advantage in that game. They did what they needed to do. We can look at somebody like LeBron James. LeBron had to beat the Boston Celtics. LeBron had to actually be able to win when he needed to win. Just different examples. I think for Chicago, the main will be Jordan losing to the Pistons 3 years in a row, then finally knocking them out. This is not a championship Chicago Bears team. So I don't want to sit up here and act like, oh, they got to knock them out to advance to the next, to try to win a Super Bowl. That's not what I think this is about. This is a mental edge about finally taking control of this division, and the team that has been a pain in your side for 30 years. I know me and my brother had a debate about this on Saturday Night in Highlights. He said, well, we beat them for a while and love you. He said, for like 2 years. That lasted 2 years until Aaron Rodgers came. They really haven't consistently beat the Packers since the 80s. So that's a long time. So that to me is why I look at it. If they want to go in the next direction, and I'm not saying this really affects the players like that. I don't think the players, if they lose tomorrow, that they're going to look like, oh my goodness, we ain't got no shot next year. But I think for the fans, to not have the fans go into full pessimistic mode next year, they got to win tomorrow. And we'll get into whether or not we look at the season after we're done with this topic. But I do believe tomorrow is a golden opportunity to rewrite everything when it comes to this division. Because honestly, if I'm the Packers, if I'm the Lions, and maybe even if I'm the Vikings, I don't really respect your division title. You 2-4. You 2-4 right now. And if you lose tomorrow, you 2-5 in the playoffs. You can look at this as a fraudulent division title if you're one of the rivals. The fans gonna think about that. So that's just personally where I'm at it. Bang, I want to go to you first. What do you think about the getting the monkey off the back situation when it comes to Bears and Packers?
I mean, when you look at these last 20 plus years, when you look at Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre before him, and these last couple of years, Jordan Love, it's a huge monkey on the Bears' back. It is a lot of history. And a lot of people look at the history of this rivalry. Of course, it's the biggest rivalry in pro football. They've played the most games against each other in NFL history, all of those things. And you had mentioned some stuff about like the history. Well, I remember when I was younger how the Bears would dominate the Packers. I won't say dominate, but we will beat them. You know what I'm saying? I start my football history off with Don Majkowski. And when Brett Favre came, it's just like, and Orlando, you kiss my, yep. But then when Brett Favre came, it was like, man, I remember watching the Monday Night Football game when they retired Dick Butkus and Gale Sayers jerseys, and in the snow, and we got washed. I want to say it was like 51-3 or something like that. Like, in my growing up, it started off decent. Now 20 years they've been on us. So I don't want to use fully monkey off our back because it will take 20 years of dominance to help that happen. But in order for us to be respected by the Green Bay Packers and this rivalry to continue to be respected, we have to win on Saturday. There's no way around it. That take the North stuff is all cool, but it's only cool or it's only right when you beat the Green Bay Packers who've owned you. So I won't call it a monkey off the back because it'll take some time, but we need to make and let the Green Bay Packers know that this rivalry is back.
And yeah, I do. I'm not, because somebody else tweeted me that a couple of days ago, and I tweeted that they're like, well, it still doesn't take away the last 30 years. I'm not saying it takes away the last 30 years. I'm just saying for the fan base, it does look like, let's say we win tomorrow. Next season, I'm not going to be thinking about Packer trauma, because I know we can beat these dudes. It'd be 2 out of 3, one in the playoff game with everybody healthy. I don't want to, what I mean by everybody, I mean their quarterback, because obviously Mike is not coming back. So that excuse is gone. That's 3 out of the last 4, if you include last year, that they would have won. I'm not going to be going to any of them games with any trauma. Now, that don't mean they can't lose. That don't mean that Green Bay can't even sweep the series next year. I'm just saying we both look at it as like, oh, that's just a tough team now. I'm not looking at it like, oh, I remember this, that, and the third.
Oh, yeah,
That's what I mean by that.
I need one more year before I feel that way. Even if we win tomorrow, I need one more year of the Bears handily beating Green Bay or feeling confident in the competition. I just need one more Yeah, now this playoff game help, but I want to see consistency in this rivalry before I'm like comfortable. That's just me though.
Dante, what's your opinion on this about getting the monkey off their back?
Uh, I'm sort of in the middle. Like I agree with the monkey off the back. I'm more so in the positive space of this is the perfect way to kick off a new era. You know what I'm saying? What better way than to knock off Green Bay, send them home? But at the same time, if we lost, I'm of the mindset now that this is set up for long term success. Again, I'm the same person who picked his team to win 6 games this year. So we playing with house money as far as I'm concerned. I know Scott, like you said, expectations do change as the season goes on, but at the same time, I can't sit here and say, if we lose, I'm disappointed or I'm mad. It would be frustrating to lose to the Packers, but I'm the same person that sat here for years worth of podcasts we've done and said it's not really a rivalry. They just be beating our ass. So I think it's still win or lose, even though the last 4 we've had the ball in the last possession and we've had the opportunity to win all those games. We're years away from saying like, all right, whatever. I'm not really worried about Green Bay. I think the groundwork has been set. It's going to be a great game, but I think as far as like you said, if we lost, you know, it wouldn't be more so the monkey off our back. It's like we knew we still had more work to do. We still got more work to do because if we lost to anybody else, you would be saying that. So I mean, I understand that it's Green Bay. I get the rivalry, but at the same time, more so being stepping away from again, I don't live in the city full time anymore, so I don't have that energy swirling around me. But just it's like, yeah, I get it. It's the Packers, but focus on winning the game. If you don't win, you're still building towards something great. You're ahead of schedule as far as I'm concerned, and you go from there.
That's a very mature way to look at it. I don't look at it that way at all. I will be angry in a way I cannot explain if they lose tomorrow. I don't care if it's by a few. I don't care if it's by a point. They cannot lose that game tomorrow. And I know maybe I feel different about the rivalry than y'all do. It's always been a rivalry for me. Yes, I get it from on a win-loss perspective. Yes, they've been owning us for at least 8 presidents now, or whatever the fuck it's been. I get that. I don't feel like the Packer players up until this year looked at it as a rivalry. I think it's been more of a rivalry for Bears fans more than it's been for Packer fans. But I always think with rivalries, whether or not the entire neutral people think about it, it's what the fans think about it. I'm just tired of losing to these dudes. It ain't got nothing to do with the playoffs. I'm not even thinking about Super Bowl. I couldn't care less. I just want to beat them. Okay. I am sick and tired of losing to this team. And there's been a question that's been going on around all week in Chicago media. Shout out my guy Adam Johns. They've talked about on Hogan Johns today about is the season a success if they lose? I know you said, Dante, you look at it as the future, all that. That's why I don't disagree. The NFL is very tricky. I'm very tricky when it comes to sports windows in general in sports. I just don't think them shits last that long. Without some cheating, like if you like the Houston Astros or some shit. But I just don't think they last that long, especially not in the NFL. NFL stands for not for long. So yeah, on paper, I feel that regardless of what happens tomorrow, if Ryan Poles does his job and rebuilds this defense, because let's be very clear, win or loss tomorrow, this defense needs to be rebuilt. There's a lot. I feel like half the people on this roster on that defense should not be here next year. It's got to be a complete rehaul. If he does that to at least get it to a decent, a middle of the road defense, and your offense takes the next leap in year 2 of Ben Johnson, then yes, barring health aside, you should have a window here. You know what I'm saying? And you really want to take advantage of next year because in 2027, if he keeps playing the way he's playing right now, Caleb Williams is going to be a very rich man, or richer than he is right now. Because you're going to have to pay him, and we know all across the league how it looks like when you give your quarterback that big contract. That's one of the main reasons that Kansas City didn't make the playoffs this year, or how it's been a struggle offensively for them the last couple of years because they haven't had any wide receivers. They haven't had any of other, pass catches and things like that. So that's going to affect the Bears and their roster building anyway. But for me, there's nothing that they can do to make the season not a success. I'm not going to go that extreme and say, oh, this is not a success. No. like Dante said, he picked him to win 6 games. I picked him to win 9, and I definitely didn't have to win division. I said 9-8, and I said that they would be 3rd in the division. I thought the Lions would win the division again. I thought Green Bay would finish ahead of us, and I thought we would finish 3rd. But I also thought the NFC North would have 3 playoff teams, and I said there would be a chance. I said they would be in a playoff hunt. I ultimately did not pick us to make the playoffs. So they've exceeded all my expectations. The offense is inconsistent as it's been. Like, they haven't really played a full game outside of maybe offensively, maybe San Francisco and Dallas. But even the offense, remember, I was coming on this show early in the year and in training camp saying offensive line looks shaky. This might take about 10, 11 weeks before it looks good. The offense is even impressive. The offensive line has floored me. I didn't see that coming whatsoever this summer with all the false starts they had, all the botched snaps they had in training camp. I was like, what is, and then even when the season started, Jonah Jackson looked like he should be retired. It was that bad. But they really became one of the best groups in the NFL. But the offense moved better than I thought it would, quicker than I thought. Caleb did better than I thought. I said Caleb was going to throw for 25 touchdowns, have 3,800 yards. And I said 10 interceptions. He did better in all 3 categories. So they succeed. They've superseded all of my expectations. And despite all of the fear that I have right now, if you'd have told me on September 1st that in 6 months, y'all will be I'll be hosting a wild card game as division champions against the Green Bay Packers. As much as I'm terrified for this game, I'd have took it and ran. So just off of that, it's going to be a successful season no matter what happens on the lakefront tomorrow. But just for me and my hate for the Green Bay Packers, I will look at this season. That was fun, but, and I don't want to say but, in my opinion, the most fun season I've had as a Bears fan. And the reason why this is more fun than 2018 and more fun than the NFC Championship winning season in 2006 for me is because of the quarterback, because of the coach. 2018, as fun as that year was, I knew that offense is probably not going to win you anything. You know what I'm saying? In 2006, we all knew Rex Grossman is going to find a way to screw us. And he did in the Super Bowl when he threw 2 picks, that one in the pouring rain and triple coverage to Musa Muhammad, who couldn't even jump at that particular time in his career. So we all knew that. This is much different. I fear nothing at the end of games when Caleb has that ball. Nothing. So that's why I've had more fun this year. And it was something where all year I was like, the other shoe's going to drop. The other shoe's going to drop. The other shoe's going to drop. In the last couple games, it felt like that shoe been dropping. So I don't want my all-season prediction of the shoe eventually is going to drop because you can't keep living off bad defenses and comebacks. I don't want that to be true tomorrow. They can go out here and get washed next weekend. I don't care. Just don't do it tomorrow. But if they lose tomorrow, I'm going to look at this season as we made a lot of progress. It was fun, but I still have question marks in this division. You finished 2-5. You lost at home against the Minnesota Vikings. And if you win that game, I know we look Monday morning quarterbacking it right now, but if you win that game, you're not playing this week. You're going to bye if you win that game. Okay, so, and then getting swept by the Detroit Lions again. And the DJ Moore moment, awesome. But I'm not going to look at that as highly if you go out and lose tomorrow. I know Packer fans definitely ain't. Packer fans are like, oh, that was cute, but it was regular season. So for me, and this is just me, this is my crazy fan side, no football knowledge here, I will be absolutely 10 out of 10 devastated they lose tomorrow. 10 out of 10. I've not been devastated watching the Chicago sports playoff game in 11 years. The last time I was devastated is when LeBron James hit that 3-pointer over Jimmy Butler in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals when they didn't call that technical foul on David Blatt when he called timeout when he had no timeouts. The last time I was devastated with a Bears game was 4th and 8, 2013. Even 2018, I wasn't devastated. I was more shocked. I couldn't believe he didn't make the field goal. Even today, when I look at the highlights, I wasn't. I was just more shocked more than anything. Even today, when I look at the highlights, I still think that kick is going in. So it was more of a shock feeling. I was devastated 4th and 8. If they lose tomorrow, I'll be devastated. I would look at it as, oh, it was cool. It's like when you had a fun night, but you had a really, really, really bad hangover the next day, and it's just one of them bad hangovers that you wish you didn't even drink last night. That's how I would look at the season if they lose. I know that's probably a meathead way of looking at it, but that's how I would look at it. Bang, what's your feeling on how this season will look to you, not to anybody else, if they did lose tomorrow?
This season will be a success. I picked the Bears to go 9 games, to win 9 games. I said that Caleb will just miss 4,000 yards. Season print from his standpoint, the season went where it was supposed to be or where it's supposed to go. So I will qualify that as a success because we saw growth with the quarterback that we drafted number 1. Now the extra 2 wins and winning the division, that's icing on the cake. And now going to the playoffs against Green Bay. See, here's the thing. And it takes me back to that Green Bay-Detroit game where you knew that this team was going to be different. If the Bears lose this game, but it is clear that they weren't dominated, they was in it, they lose by a game-winning touchdown or a game-winning field goal, whatever, it's going to hurt. But once that's over with, I'm going to look at this as not only a successful season, but we're right there. We're right there. And I think that no matter what, the Bears are going to go into the next season as the favorites to win the division. They're young. They'll have capital because I truly believe that Ian Cunningham will be the next general manager of the Atlanta Falcons, which will net us 2 third-round picks, which I believe we have 6 coming up right now. I think we'll be a team that people want to come and play for, too. See, that's the difference also. Like when you're around here losing, you look at Huff and there's no hope because there's no plan. Don't nobody want to come here. But I think that the Bears would be an attractive destination because you have Caleb Williams still on a rookie deal. So you could probably take a chance on a Max Crosby. The running back situation came out better than we thought, but DeAndre Swift will be a free agent next year. I'll be surprised if they don't bring him back. We're good at the wide receiver position because we got 2 young ones in Roma Dunze and Luther Burden. We at the tight end position, we're straight. And low-key looking at the offensive line, we're straight. Isaac Trapillo may have gotten hurt and didn't play the last game, but we barely heard his name after not seeing him in training camp. We just need to shore up the defense. But with that being said, all of that is the reason why this won't be a disappointment to me because it'll be a lot of positive that outweigh the negative. Now, that would change if we got our ass beat by Green Bay. Like, I don't want to lose 35-3 and stuff like that. But, no, I won't be disappointed at all.
I really honor you guys' maturity here because I just look. Maybe if they lose and 2 weeks later I'm over it and I'm like, yeah, I'm looking all the pros. I'm not trying to hit it this weekend. I'm just not. I'm just not,
bro.
So yeah,
look at the last 4 years.
I can't.
You have to. You do have, nigga. You've been in the building, like you've been there when they've been terrible, and we won 11 games this year. Like I hear you when like I said in the beginning, I feel you when you say expectations change, but no. There's been no nervousness for me. It's been more so if you're gonna do this thing and you claim it's a new era, this is the best way to kick it off. And even if you lose, it's more so okay. We still have the same hill to climb. Like, yeah, we won the division this year, but like you said, we was 2-4 and we would end up 2-5. But it's a situation where, like you said, and I know saying just shore up the defense is easier said than done. You still got to spend the money, get the right guys, hope they stay healthy, et cetera, et cetera. But you have a lot more clarity in the way you're going than we've ever had. Especially from a coaching standpoint. Now, if people come in and they poach half the coaching staff, and then we have to see how Ben replaces people, that's a completely different conversation. But we cross that bridge when we get there. In terms of the team, no, I don't look at the season any differently. Again, I picked them to win 6 games. You had 11 and you were hosting a playoff game. I'm solid. So I think we're going to win, but at the same time, if we didn't, I wouldn't be like, oh, damn, this is a waste. No, it was perfect. It's more experience for, like you said, the guy that we picked number 1, and we're in a position now where it's time to go get it, and we know exactly where we need to go.
Yeah, I'm not saying it'll be a waste. I'm not saying it'll be a waste and that it won't be a successful season. Like you see, I have been in the building. This is much. I would take this stress over losing 10 games last year in a row, by bar none. I'm just saying I don't want to look at this season with a yeah, but that's all I'm saying. But it's also I'm very emotional right now. Let's just put this in perspective. Maybe when they lose,
Yeah.
if they lose 2 weeks from now, I think this is something I think I'll only be mad for probably about a week. When they lost to Double Doink, I was mad for maybe 48 hours. Maybe
Oh, that
48
double doink
hours.
was different. Like missing, like let's look at the Ravens for an example, right? The Ravens, and not just the missed kick, they probably have missed out on playoff Super Bowls, whatever, off the flukiest stuff. Like, let's even go back to I forgot who was the wide receiver. I want to say Anquan Bolden. It might have been somebody else, but dropped the touchdown that would have won them the game.
You
That
talking
would
about
have, I
last year? You
believe.
talking about Mark Andrews, right?
No, I ain't even talking about Mark Andrews.
Oh, you talking
I'm
about in the
talking
Super
about
Bowl?
You talking about Zay Flowers? Or are you going way back?
no. I'm going way back. Joe, you played your ass off. I still remember Ray Lewis. I can't remember who it was.
Oh, I know it. You talking about the AFC Championship game against New England?
Yes.
That's what you talk about.
Drop the ball. Like, look at John Harbaugh's tenure. John Harbaugh got the most flukiest losses from a coach, I believe, ever when it comes to dropping the touchdown in the end zone, not once, but twice. Lee Evans. Yep, Lee Evans. Missing a field goal, Tyler Loop missing a field goal, and quite possibly one of the greatest kickers of all time, Justin Tucker, is not on your team because he wanted to be a freak man, allegedly, reportedly. But they got a Super Bowl with Brian Billick. They got a Super Bowl with John Harbaugh. But I'm just saying, like, the way that they've lost some of those games, see, that's disappointing to me. That's disappointment to me because me and my cousin was talking about, I didn't even know he was at Double Doink. He ain't talk about that. He like, man, I thought you knew. That was so disappointing because we knew Cody Parkey was a jag. And he jagged the season away where we were the favorites to win the Super Bowl by some people. That was disappointment. That was hurt. That was pain. This right here, if we were to lose, like for me, this because we don't have a standard, we don't have a long history of success. This would be more of you got us this time, and I might be feeling it tonight, but tomorrow I'm gonna feel like we got the better of y'all, and we gonna be straight. Like
I can
and that's
feel like that if
we're
it
on
was
the come up.
any other.
No, I feel you. Believe me, I kind of feel like I'm talking myself into something.
You are,
But
because I know how you feel about the Packers.
Yeah, but right, you know how I feel about the Packers. But I guess and it's probably because of what you told me when they had lost that first game. Like, man, the Packers doing too much talking right now for me to believe that they're confident in going into that game and winning. So if
by
they
the way,
win that game, it's like,
I think it's all fake bravado, to be completely honest with you, because I never seen a Packer team talk like ever. Like the Packers usually talk after they beat us. Like when I don't know if you remember an NFC Championship 2010, and Barack Obama said something like, "Oh, I wouldn't invite the Packers to the White House," some shit like that. They beat the Bears. They didn't say nothing, but the minute they won, Charles Woodson said in the locker room, "The president don't want to see us. We gonna come to him." But that was after the win. Aaron Rodgers actually talked crazy about the Bears one time in his entire career when he did the "I own you." That was literally the only time. That talking that they doing right now seems like fear, and that's why when Austin Booker said they didn't do nothing after the hit, they said they were so mad about it, why they didn't react. So that I'm with you on.
Yeah, that. Because the way that they're acting, if they were to win, they're like, we got out of here, man. I ain't think we gonna do it. We lost 4 straight games. Folks hurt. They coming about healthy, but we don't know. And I'm going to look at them the same way that Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions looked at Green Bay in that last game of the season where everybody was like, yo, no, these cats gonna be decent next year.
I remember that. Yeah.
And they was. So yeah, it's gonna be a day. Like it's gonna be a day. If we lose, it's gonna be a day where I'm gonna be pissed. But that next day, I'm gonna be like, yo, we gonna be all right.
The next day. I think I'll be straight by Monday. The good thing about tomorrow is it is a night game. And what I mean by that is I can go to sleep. I don't have to watch another game.
Right.
And think about it. I can get a full night's rest of sleep. But I'm done talking about the negative. I feel like we've been spending too much time on the negatives. I will say, when they win tomorrow, I'm finna be outside. So, Bang, I will be hitting your line. I already told Mikey be on deck. I hit Tip up. I'm going to be outside. I don't know if y'all seen that picture of Michael Jordan in the bar with Richard Dent and they were pulling niggas up. That's finna be me, all right? When they win tomorrow. But I want to talk about the actual game. Now, we talk about pressure. We said, like, there's really no pressure for the Bears long term. There's a lot of pressure for the Green Bay Packers organization. So there's been a lot of smoke over these last couple of weeks about will Matt LaFleur lose his job, which I think is absolutely asinine. I think Matt LaFleur is one of the best coaches in the NFL. And this is a dude who thought he was only good because he had Aaron Rodgers. I was proven very quickly that was wrong. I think he's the only reason we even look at Jordan Love as, okay, he's good. He's the only reason that we don't look at Jordan Love as a straight up bozo. He is somebody who is completely taking the mantle from what McCarthy did and has been better. Now, granted, I know they ain't won the division title. It's actually kind of funny that, he won a division title with Rodgers, but post-Rodgers, he hasn't won a division title. But it's also kind of funny that we've won one before Jordan Love. But I still think he's one of the best coaches in the NFL. And I think if they let go of him, will be stupid. But there's smoke coming from not just Mike Florio, not just from Tom Pelissero. Now, we're hearing it from Packer beat reporters. And you know this kind of stuff doesn't just come out the blue. Like we're not going to talk about it right now. This will be something we talk about in the offseason. But the Declan Doyle Detroit Lions smoke don't really just sound like smoke to me. But we'll talk about that when the time comes. But
wait a minute, what?
You didn't hear about that? So there's a rumor that Dan Campbell wants him to be the offensive coordinator in Detroit. That's what I'm in.
You know what? I expected that. I just didn't know that there was a rumor out there. But he wants his man's back.
It's a serious rumor that I've been hearing. Okay, so I don't really care about it because no respect to Declan Doyle. I think Declan is going to be a good coach one day. We got Ben Johnson, and that's the number one thing. When Dante, you talking about purging the staff, long as we got Ben, I'm fine. Like, I think the only loss that I would probably be a little bit hit by is Eric Bieniemy with the running backs and Al Harris with the DBs. That's pretty much it. I just eventually expect if Dennis Allen gets actual personnel, then he's eventually going to be a head coach again. But I still think we got another year.
Dennis Allen will never be a coach again.
You don't think he's ever going to be a coach again?
That's dead.
I think it's
dead, Jack.
Okay.
Raiders and Saints, he did not win at both of those.
I keep forgetting he was a Raiders coach. I keep forgetting he was a Raiders coach.
That shit dead. That's why I like the hire. That's exactly why I like the Dennis Allen hire, because you have somebody
stability.
That's going to be Monty Kiffin. He's going to be the Monty Kiffin. He's going to be the forever defensive coordinator.
That's Kiffin is the name. He's Vic Fangio.
He's the biggest reason why I believed in that hire right there. Now, the Declan Doyle thing, I had a feeling that Dan Campbell was like, yo, I need to get one of them back. So I only think, Estrin, I can't remember how to pronounce his last name, but the OC for the Jets, he called plays and all that stuff. Declan don't. So it's like, yo, here's that chance. Well, JT Barrett, come on up.
I always feel like when you hire somebody who didn't call plays, is a risk, and we know that from Matt Nagy. And that's why I was never thrilled with the Matt Nagy hire, because anybody who knows anything about Andy Reid coaching, he calls the plays. Like, yeah, Matt might call it for a couple games when he's feeling nice, but he's the reason. You know what I'm saying? And there's a couple things with that where my Matt Nagy criticism is weird, because as a human being, I really like Matt Nagy, like, a lot. Like, he's an actual cool dude. Like, my first year covering the Bears was last year, and when I interviewed him at Super Bowl week last week, and I introduced myself as a Bears beat reporter, I thought he was going to give me one of y'all. He was very happy to be interviewed, so I love talking about Chicago. So I I like Matt Nagy, the person. I'd have a beer with Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy, the coach, need Fed time. So I think when you're hiring people who didn't call plays as your head coach, offensive coordinator, it's a risk. But I don't know if y'all saw before I get back to Green Bay. Did y'all see the clip of Detroit radio after they beat the Bears? It was hilarious. It was on 97.1 the ticket. So they were talking about, Lions fans are calling in tomorrow. Well, we beat the Bears. One of the hosts was like, I don't respect that on principle. He said, if you would have played like that just twice in the last month, you'd be in the playoffs right now. He said, but no, you want to do the Bears' cool little celebration dance. He said, we'll get them. We'll get them. And then the other guy was like, what the Bears probably looking at? We finna be here playing next week. Y'all are going to be in Cabo. So I respect honest Lions coverage. But with the Packers, like I said about Matt LaFleur, they're saying that it might be some smoke about him going to Miami because no matter what happens this year, the Packers front office don't want to give him $15 million a year. And there might be some movement with a former Packer executive becoming the GM over there. So I feel like that's a legitimate story. And Jordan Love, if he don't get it done again, there's going to be some question marks. How much pressure, I'm going to go to you first, Dante, do you think the Packers are under for this game? Prior Mike, and they're supposed to be Super Bowl contenders. What do you think about the Packers side of this?
I mean, it's immense pressure. Just off the strength that the last 4 years you made the playoffs at the 7th seed, which means had they not expanded in the playoffs, you would be at home. So it's one of those things where there's definitely pressure. And I want to add a little caveat to the Matt LaFleur thing. Let's not forget, the Atlanta Falcons just finally added on a, president of football operations position. And somebody they're interviewing from that position is a man by the name of Matt Ryan. If anybody remembers, Matt LaFleur was the quarterback's coach in Atlanta when Matt Ryan won MVP. So if Matt LaFleur gets fired, I guarantee you he's going to be I'm almost certain he'll be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. They'll give him that job. They'll gift wrap it to him. They didn't keep Kyle Shanahan in the building. If they can get Matt LaFleur back, they're going to do that. So I think it's pressure on both sides because now if you're Green Bay, if you lose this game, like you said, you're not going to pay him. So now you are in the search for a new coach. I think this adds to the reports about Harbaugh where they say they were a secret team who already had a head coach who reached out to them and they said it wasn't the Dolphins. So I wonder if Green Bay is a team that's like, okay, if, we do lose with LaFleur, let's bring in Harbaugh. Let's bring in a voice that's, been a proven winner and do something like that. So, I mean, it's gonna be interesting. But I agree. There is pressure there in Green Bay, but simply because this is a team that prides itself on consistency, prides itself on, having a foundation there. But if you do get to a point where it's like, I'm not going to pay this man in this time to break ranks, he has a plenty of places to fall. So I think the pressure goes both ways. But I think like as far as Green Bay goes, it's definitely a lot of pressure for them.
Hey, man, I welcome John Harbaugh to the NFC North. John Harbaugh can get it cracking with Lamar. Please give him Jordan. I would love nothing more. Oh, we could do the double. We could do the double, eliminate them, and make them get rid of the best thing that's happened to them since Aaron Rodgers. Oh, and that's the flip side of this game. Like, yeah, we'll be crushed if they lose, but do you understand the absolute high off a win? Like, the level of disrespect could get me assassinated. Like, that's how much of a level it will be. That's why it's just so crazy. Ben, any take on the Packers before we move on to Bears keys to win or no?
I've been seeing people say that the Bears are playing with house money. I'm not gonna go that far. Like you play in the third biggest market in the country. You play for a charter franchise in the NFL. It's going to be an immense amount of pressure for the Bears to go and defeat the Green Bay Packers at home. So I ain't one of those people that say they playing with house money. But I will say that between Green Bay and Chicago, Green Bay got the most pressure. Situation with your coach, not only just your coach, but your defensive coordinator. Your defensive coordinator is a hot commodity around the league. Y'all, maybe they fire LaFleur and then they promote Halfley. No, but you have issues or conversations with the head coach and the defensive coordinator position. You also look at the contracts. You pay Jordan Love biggest contract in NFL history money. Like when they re-signed him, at the time that was, or I believe still is, the biggest contract in NFL history. Because his time that came up and you wasn't going to be able to do nothing better. Then you get Micah Parsons, the biggest contract from a non-quarterback in NFL history. Oh, we're straight on the offensive side. We're straight on the defensive side. We're good for years to come. We got LaFleur. We got Halfley. We're in the NFC North. Winnable division every year. All of those things, right? But yet you still come in as the 7th seed. Like Dante said, if we didn't add another team in the playoffs, you wouldn't be there. So they have a lot of pressure on them because people last year, Micah Parsons this year, even though he's hurt, they have said that this is a team that should go to the Super Bowl, should walk to the Super Bowl. And you still got teams like San Francisco in front of them. You still got the Eagles in front of them. Hell, now you got the Bears in front of you. You got the Seattle Seahawks in front of you. You got the Rams in front of you. This team has underachieved. And the only reason why they're not saying it, because it's the Green Bay Packers and they don't have that tax. But this team has underachieved, and that's why LaFleur has questions around him. The defense have gotten better. Even without Micah Parsons, that defense is better than the defense they had a couple of years ago when they were complaining. You have all of these things. Now you have to win. If you go and you lose to your division rival, to your heated rival, that not only to me signals changing of the guard, that also signals trouble in paradise. Now you got to look who's going to come in and take that over. And I don't necessarily think it's going to be somebody like John Harbaugh.
I mean, that's another thing too. The Packers are cheap, and you make a good point that the Packers never, like historically, ever get shit from the media, like ever. Like they will shit on the Bears for anything. Of course, obviously Detroit, Minnesota, Dallas obviously gets shitted on for just whatever, just existing. No, they get Patriots coverage without Patriots championships. And I mean in the non-segregation era for all you Titletown people out there. As y'all always know, if they're going to be Titletown, so are we. Okay, if we going to be counting stuff prior to the Super Bowl era, then let's do that. Like you had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, like walking Hall of Famers for 30 seasons, and you came up with only 2. That's kind of nuts to me, but that's neither here nor there. Going to the Bears' keys to a victory, and this is where, you know, we talk about how they can get it done. Now, this is the 3rd time these two have played in the last 34 days, which is crazy. 3rd time they played in one season since 2010. That series went 2-1 to the Packers. The Bears won the first game. It was Devin Hester's first kick return in 2 years. I remember that one. The second one was week 17, where I blame Lovie Smith for letting the Packers in to begin with, because I don't know if y'all remember, the Bears already clinched. The Bears already won the NFC North, and the Packers needed to beat the Bears at Lambeau Field to make the playoffs. It was the end of the game. The Bears had just tied. I think they just hit a touchdown and they went for the field goal, not for extra point to tie the game. If Lovie Smith just goes for 2 and they make it, they're out. They don't even go to the playoffs. And to this day, I don't get that logic. You already clinched your spot in your seed. They had a first round bye that year. Take the 2. If you miss it, who cares? You're already in. So, and then also we all know what happened in the NFC Championship game. And I went back and rewatched the highlights of that because everything after Jay Cutler getting hurt was a blur to me. And I forgot how close it was to the end. And I think that's more because they weren't expecting Caleb Haney. That was actually the 3rd one. I forgot Todd Collins took snaps in that game. Yeah. But that was something where the way they killed Jay in the media the next day, I mean, oh my God, I ain't seen nothing like that before that or even after the way he was getting killed. Now, with my 22-year-old mind, I was like, oh, they're killing Jay for no reason. At 37, I'm like, he probably should have went to the locker room. Like he just how it looks. Just the look of it, him walking around, being on the bike, looking disinterested. It just wasn't a good look. But regardless, 3rd time they played. And the 3rd game in the division rivalry is very hard to predict. Last year this happened with the Commanders and the Eagles meeting 3 times, with the third one being in the NFC Championship game. Now, they split the first two. Both of those games are one-possession games. The NFC Championship game in Philadelphia, the Eagles completely routed them 55-22. We all know the historic NFL films, Saquon Barkley touchdown in the snow that really opened things up. So for me, there's 3 keys for the Bears to win this game. Number one, they have to get 2 takeaways. That is number one. This team is 2-6 this season when they don't get at least 2 takeaways. This team is bottom 5 in every defensive category except for takeaways. That is their bread and butter. When they don't get that, they really don't have any chance. So that is one of my number one key. Number one, my third key. Number 2, got to be much better on third down. That's offensively and defensively. The Bears in the last 3 weeks, the last 4 weeks, last 4 games. No, actually 3, my bad. I'm getting the stat. It's the last 3. The Bears have allowed people to convert on third down 27 out of 47 times. It's ridiculous. You cannot have that trend continue. And the number one thing, the offense needs to be the defense. You have to control the clock. To me, the game plan should be a mix of that entire Philadelphia game and the second half of that first Green Bay game in Lambeau. If you do that, control the clock, take the points. That's another thing then. Like, I have no problem going for it on 4th and 1, 4th and 2. Anything more than 4th and 2, and it's in Cairo's range, I'm going to need you to take the points. That's how close I think this game is going to be. And if they can control the time possession, if they can not, make stupid moves, have a decent balance between the run game and the passing game, I feel they put themselves in great position to win. This is a game where I feel like the Bears need to at least have a double-digit lead at some point in the first half. I think this is going to be much better than those first 2 games. But it's also something where I look at, I also don't know what Green Bay Packer team we're going to get. I've been seeing a lot in local media and national media about everything the Bears need to do and how the Bears defense is going to look. This is a defense in Green Bay that's been absolutely shredded since Michael Parsons tore his ACL. This is a defense that has no answer for the run game these last couple of weeks. We know what the Bears did to them both matchups, and that's what even with them not even fully dedicating to the run for the first half and parts of that. This is a team that got absolutely shredded by Derrick Henry. And also, we don't know what Jordan Love are going to be. I know he's out of concussion protocol, but the man ain't played since the last time they played the Bears. He might be rusty. So there's a lot of ways this can go, but I think those are the 3 main keys to a Bears win. Dante, what are your keys to a Bears win tomorrow night?
I agree the turnovers are key. Even with the game last week or, the game in San Francisco, without the turnover, they're not close. And so, like you said, we need at least 2. But I do think the turnovers are key. I think establishing the run is going to be key. Because Caleb, when he's looked the most comfortable, has been in situations where the offense can do what they want to do, whether it be pass or run. And the pass also sets up that play action, which you don't see a lot of in the NFL these days. But when Caleb does it, it's really effective. So establishing that run, and from a defensive standpoint, I think continuing to play great red zone defense at home. I think, like you said, you put up a stat where it was like 17% of the time we give up points in the red zone at home. It's like 30% on the road. So you at home, protect home field. Like you said, the defense is what it is at this point. We know what we got. We know what we're working with. So I just need you to protect home field. And again, with the defense, create turnovers. That's what it's going to be about. Because I have no problems with the offense, but I do think with this being a division rival, a team that we've already played twice, a team that historically knows us, unless Ben just pulls out a completely new playbook, it's still going to be a chess match between LaFleur and Ben down to the final possession. And we've had the final possession the last 4 times that we're 2-2. So. That's how I think it'll go. I do think, we're going to get into predictions and everything, but I think those are my keys.
Bang, what's your keys before we get into picks?
Time of possession. They have to control the time of possession. They have to run the ball effectively. Play action needs to be on point. Caleb needs to start fast. Offense as a whole needs to start fast, but time of possession. They need to hold that ball as long as they can to not give Green Bay any possessions. That defense is right for the picking right now with a lot of these injuries, and they've not been good for the past 4 weeks. So with that, Jordan Love will give up the rock. He didn't do it the last game because he wasn't in that whole game. But the first game, he did have a turnover, but we were not able to capitalize on it like we should have. But time of possession, the Bears control the ball. Whoever controls the time of possession, to me, is going to win this game.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Now, time for predictions and bold pick, not picks and bold predictions. Is what I'm say. Yes, I've thought about this all week, been going back and forth because we've seen so many. All of the last 4 games all come down to the wire, all come down to the last play. And not to say that I can't see that happening because I can, but it's also the NFL. It's the playoffs. It's the third meeting in 34 days. Shit gets weird. So part of me feels like it's going to be a game that we're not expecting to see. My biggest fear, football-wise, going into this is the defense. Last week, Jared Goff had a vacation in the pocket. We all know Jordan Love is much more mobile than Jared Goff. Now, the good thing is that the wide receiving core in Green Bay is nowhere near as fast as the one is in Detroit. So I think that's a good thing. But third down is going to be a problem. Getting to the quarterback is going to be a problem. And, stopping chunk plays is going to be a problem. And yes, they're a great red zone defense, which is very weird. And I know that Dennis Allen said something this week where they only gave up 19 points, really 16 because the final 3 was the game winner. And I get that, but it's the time possession and the chunk yards they're giving up, which is an issue. I do believe they're going to come out fast. There's been a huge emphasis on that all week up at Hallis Hall. I think it's massive that you got Kyler Gordon back. You got Luther Burden back. Not Luther Burden, but you got Roma Dunze back. Don't know how much you can expect from either. I'm expecting more from Rome than I am Kyler because Kyler has only played maybe 2.5 games all season. He ain't played in a month. He hasn't played in any of these games. Backer fans like to talk about injuries. In the first game against Green Bay, there was no Roma Dunze, there was no Kyler Gordon, and there was no Tremaine Edmonds in the first one. In the second game against Green Bay, there wasn't any Roma Dunze, there wasn't any Luther Burden III, and there wasn't any Kyler Gordon in that game. You're going to have all of those guys back. I'm also worried about the secondary. Jalen Johnson is obviously still hurt. He's a shell of himself right now, and that's just going to be what it's going to be. I think if this was a season where they weren't winning as much, he'd have been out for the year. But I respect his dedication to coming back, especially at the beginning of the year. Would look like they say he's going to be out the rest of the season. And I respect the Kyler, too. I don't think Kyler's 100%. I think if it wasn't for the playoffs, that Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, and Roma Dunze would all be on IR, and we wouldn't have seen them again. So I respect all of that. I think they're going to come out fast. This is a game where I feel like I said a couple minutes ago, they got to have a double-digit lead sometime in the first half. Dante, like you said, we've had the ball at the end of the game all 4 of the last games. You cannot allow this. You cannot allow Jordan Love to have the ball at the end of this game. It's not that I'm scared of Jordan Love. I'm scared of our defense. That's my fear. So you're going to need that. I believe the Bears are going to win 34-21. Now, this is a lot of my heart talking more than my head. Head is a pick 'em. I can see it going anyway. The only outcome that would surprise me tomorrow is if the Bears just flat out wash them. Us getting washed by the Packers, even though I don't see it, wouldn't necessarily be surprising. Us watching them will be just because our defense is just bad. That's why I'll be surprised. But I said 34-21 because I feel like that's what needs to happen for them to win this game. I do think it'll be close. It's not something where I feel like they're going to be up the whole time. I do think this will even be probably a one-possession game with 7 minutes left to the end in the fourth quarter. But they'll, get a touchdown to, put them further in the distance. So I'm going to say 34-21, Bears win. My bold predictions, I got 2 bold predictions. One, Caleb Williams will throw for 3 touchdowns in his first playoff game. And number 2, Jalen Johnson is going to get the game-sealing interception. Those are my 2 bold predictions right there. Dante, what's your pick for tomorrow, and what is your bold prediction?
I went 35-24 Bears. My bold prediction is Kyler Murray intercept. Not Kyler Murray, Kyler Gordon interception. I wanted to go pick 6, but I do think Kyler will get an interception. I think it's one of those things where I'm kind of the other way. I think Kyler, even though he got hurt again, I think he was held out for the end of the season intentionally. It's like, we're going to just shut you down because we want you in the playoffs. So I think him and Rome will both have a big impact tomorrow. That's why I think Caleb. You say 3. I wouldn't be surprised if Caleb had 4 touchdowns, just because I think he's really in the groove right now. He's in a point where he's throwing about one now, weather permitting, I should say. Even though he can make every throw, even though he can make every throw, we know Ben is not going to call a game where he's throwing the ball 48 times if it's raining or snowing and shit like that. So, but no, I think 35-21, 35-24, and I think Kyler Gordon will get an interception.
All right, bang. Score and predictions.
Bears win 27-24, game-winning field goal at the end of the game. I believe it will be an interception that will set that up. I believe that interception will be Kyler Gordon. And I also think this is going to be an NFL Films Day. I think with the snow coming down in Soldier Field at night, Bears-Packers, this is going to be one of those NFL Films presents. I think it's going to be one of those games. I think it's going to be a great game between both. I believe the Bears is going to win at the time of possession game. I do think the defense is going to give up some big plays, but I do believe that Kyler Gordon gets an interception to give the Bears back the ball, and a game-winning field goal by Cairo Santos sends the Bears to the divisional round for the first time since the NFC Championship year.
Yeah, it was crazy. I could actually see that outcome too. That was one I was thinking about as well. I think atmosphere-wise, it's going to be absolutely nuts in Soldier Field tomorrow. Like, it was crazy 3 weeks ago. Like, it was rocking up in there. But I think it's going to be even crazy tomorrow. It's playoffs. I expect a lot of people to be there. I think you're going to see a lot of Bears legends in the building. They're going to, we were talking about who's going to be the legend that's going to bring out. So they're bringing out Urlacher and Devin Heston at the beginning of the game to get the crowd hype. Brian Urlacher's coming out twice. He's going to be doing the fourth phase thing in the fourth quarter. So that'll be interesting. And they're going to be passing out not yellow, but orange towels this time. There was white towels 3 weeks ago. So you're going to see a sea of orange tomorrow. So that's going to be a fun game.
So I'm going to be doing this.
Yeah, you're going to be doing all that. Well, they having We Ready play over the speakers. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that, man. Let's finish.
You know what? Real quick, folks. I don't want to hear We Ready. I don't want to hear that.
You know you're going to hear that. They never change their playlist.
I know, but I need somebody to play a song from the crib. Like, I don't give a damn if it's a rock song. It could be a rap song. It could be Adrenaline Rush. It could be some Smashing Pumpkin shit. I need to hear a Chicago song for the fourth phase.
Why don't they bring in DJ Ferris?
Man, they got DJ Ella. I think and Ferris is the Bulls DJ, if I'm not mistaken.
What? Jerry can't loan the nigga over for the playoff game? I don't understand. They been using his saying all season.
Yeah.
That's very true. That's
no disrespect to the current Bears DJ. I'm sure he's a great guy.
I think Jay Ella be going crazy to me. But,
Jay Ella be going crazy. Them Jay Ella games are great.
Especially pre-game, Jay Ella be snapping. Jay Ella be snapping pre-game.
Yo, when
he played Chains and Whip before the first game, we smashed the Vikings, bro. Like he be going crazy
though. We got to play Finito.
You finna get Kanye's verse on Put On. That's what you finna get.
Something.
But they play that every game. Put On verse.
But even though I don't like that song, I need some Chicago.
They ain't trying to hit kill shit.
It's Green Bay Packers. What do you want to do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Well, also, I'm very happy that Jim Cornelison will not be doing the national anthem tomorrow.
Yeah, we can.
Thank God. And the reason because they never win when he does it. Never. I'm like, if you be thinking I'm overreacting.
And the home of the brave.
No, bro. Like, if you be thinking I'll be overreacting, I don't. Tomorrow, the anthem singer will be Gina Miles. She's from Chicago and is on The Voice, I guess. So yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, we're gonna spend these final 20 minutes on the rest of the schedule because believe it or not, there are other playoff games this week. So we've got let's see, 5 other games. Wild card weekend. You got Panthers Rams tomorrow in Carolina, which would be the first game of the week. NFC South champions taking on the Rams. Cam Newton will be making his return to the bank out there. He will be, hitting the Panthers drum tomorrow. So you'll see him out there. He's the keep pounding.
Him and Luke Kuechly.
So that'll be fire. Then on Sunday you got Jaguars Bills kicking off the triple header. You got Eagles Niners in the afternoon spot, which that's a little rivalry there as well. That'll be in Philadelphia. On Sunday Night Football, you got the Patriots and possible MVP Drake May hosting Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. And then on Monday night, we got the we got the wild card weekend, final game. Pittsburgh Steelers taking on CJ Stroud, that great defense, and the Houston Texans. Let's just give like a couple thoughts on each game. Nothing too much, and give our picks. Panthers Rams. Now if the Bears do win tomorrow, I hope that we're starting the game with the Panthers win because that means they'll be coming to Soldier Field next week more than likely, and I would love that. Bring me Bryce Young, and he can't see over his offensive line in cold Chicago Bear weather. I would love to see that. Having said all of that, I know they beat them in the regular season. It was a crazy game. Devontae Adams is going to be back. Matthew Stafford has been playing really, really well. Puka Nacua has been playing well. I forgot the name of the Panthers head coach, but he not finna outdo Sean McVay. I think the Rams are going to win this one, and I think the Rams are going to win pretty easily. I'm just going to go through all of them, and then y'all give y'all picks and all of them so we're not spending too much time on each game. Jaguars Bills. Now, the Jaguars have been playing really, really great. Trevor Lawrence, Trick Off Trev, as we affectionately call him on this show. This has been the best year that I've seen from him. It really ain't even got nothing to do with numbers wise. I feel like his poise has been different. The offensive play call has been different. Liam Cohen, everybody laughed at him when he got hired in the Duval thing. He's been great. That defense has been making plays, and they still haven't lost a beat, even with Travis Hunter being out for the majority of the season. Having said all of that, I'm going down with the ship, the Buffalo Bills ship, because for Josh Allen, if not now, when? We were talking about windows earlier with the Bears windows, Pack windows. I believe the Baltimore Ravens window is close. That's just my personal opinion. If the Bills don't get it done this year, or at least not, if the Bills don't even make the Super Bowl this year, I believe their window's done. It's put up or shut up time, dog. Now, we know I think these two made the playoffs a couple years ago. What was that game? No, that was the Chargers. My bad. I'm thinking about the Chargers and Jaguars, where they each had 4 interceptions. But no, Buffalo Bills need to win this game. Yeah. Buffalo Bills need to win this game, and I do believe the Buffalo Bills will win this game. I think this will be very close. I think Josh Allen will do just a little bit more than Trevor Lawrence. So I'm going to go with that. Eagles Niners. This right here, smash mouth football. You got the Eagles, who throughout all the drama still finished NFC East champions. First time a team has won the NFC East in back-to-back years in 20 seasons. Tremendous feat for the world champions. The offense, it's been god-awful. Let's just keep it a buck. The running game, it wasn't what it was last year. Saquon Barkley wasn't what he is last year. It's Jalen Hurts. I won't say he fell off a cliff because that's just who he always has been to me. But the offense has been really, really bad. Their offensive coordinator has been really, really bad. Has been, the replacement for Kellen Moore has been terrible. The defense had a little rough patch with the injuries they had, but they've really gotten back together over the last couple weeks. And, I think the coach, honestly, for me, if you're not going to give it to a new coach, it's Kyle Shanahan. This is Kyle's best year as a coach, considering all the injuries he's had. Nick Bosa's been out. Fred Warner's been out. Christian McCaffrey missed a lot of games for a while. Brock Purdy missed a lot of games for a while. Like, I believe half of these wins are because Mac Jones' time when he played really, really well for them. And I think they're an explosive offense. What we saw last week against Seattle, what happens when you put a little pressure on this offense. And I believe that the Eagles defense is going to be the reason that the Philadelphia Eagles win. The Eagles are at home. I think they're going to do just enough offensively to win this game. And the Niners just haven't fared well against Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs the last couple of years. So I believe it's going to be an ugly game. It's going to be one of them old school type of games, but I do believe that the Eagles will come out on top on this one. Patriots, Chargers, Sunday Night Football. I've sold my Justin Herbert stock. I'm sorry. I've sold it. Jay Herbo, I've been rooting for you for a long time. I just can't do it no more. I think the Patriots are going to win this one. I think the Patriots are going to win it by at least 2 touchdowns. And then the game of the weekend, not game of the weekend, but the last game of the weekend, Steelers-Texans. The Texans offense is the only reason I don't think they can make the Super Bowl. If CJ Stroud wasn't a bozo, or they had an even competent offensive line, I believe this team could make the Super Bowl and actually win it all. That's how scary that defense is. And I do believe this is going to be an ugly game. Steelers offense, not pretty. Rodgers can still get it done, but obviously he's not the Rodgers of old. But I just don't trust their defense either. And I think that the Texans defense is going to make just enough plays to win this one. So I'm going to go with the Texans to have a road upset here and win this one, man. So that's what I got for this weekend. Dante, what you got for this weekend? What's your picks and what's your thoughts?
Man, I think it's going to be a really good weekend. I think especially, first of all, seeing Cam back in the building in Carolina. I think this is a long time coming, very, very much overdue. I think he's going to have that building rocking. With that being said, I think it's still going to be tough for them to win. I'm going with the Rams in that one. Jaguars, Bills, Cohen should, I think, honestly probably be coach of the year. I don't think he's going to get it, but I think he should be. Just given everything he walked into and do all and the expectations and everything he's been able to do. With that being said, Jaguars, Bills, I'm still going with Josh Allen, man. I think Josh Allen is going to be able to get it done. It's going to be a close one, but I think they'll get it done by a field goal. Eagles, Niners. I'm going with Kyle Shanahan, man. I'm going with Kyle Shanahan. I really think that Eagles offense is still struggling, and they're just not going to be able to do enough to outscore the 49ers. So I know the 49ers looked bad last week. But even with that defense struggling, I think Eagles will be okay, whereas the 49ers offense will be rolling. So I'm going to go with the 49ers now. Patriots, Chargers. I think this is what we bring out the diamond test and y'all see that the Patriots are frauds. Like, division was Huff. Most of the teams they beat were Huff. I'm not saying that there's not a bright future, because there certainly is. I think that entire between from coaching staff to quarterback to the top, you have the type of pecking order that you would like, and I think it's going to be just fine. But this year, I think they're the team that gets exposed in the first round and gets put out. Steelers, Texans. I think that Steelers simply just won't be able to score points against that Texas defense. So I think CJ Stroud gets it done, and they go into the next round.
All right, man. Bang, are you ready? I know you're on the phone over there, or not. You're still on mute, brother. I can't hear nothing you saying, so I'm gonna assume.
Y'all good. I had to take a phone call real quick, but I'm gonna make this quick. I already told y'all that the Bears gonna win. I think the Rams is gonna win in double digits. I think the Bills is gonna beat the Jaguars. We got the Niners, and the Eagles. I'm gonna take the Eagles in this game. We got the Patriots versus the Chargers. Of course, I'm taking the Patriots in double digits, and the Steelers and Texans. I'm gonna take the Steelers in the upset.
All right. This is going to be a good weekend of football this weekend. If you are I wish I was a neutral this weekend, but instead I'm going to be stressing tomorrow. But anyway, that is all we've got for y'all today on this wild card edition of I'm Not Going to Hold You. As far as content wise, obviously we're going to do what we usually do after the game. All the post game stuff will be dropping Sunday morning, Sunday morning, because it'll be so late by the time the game is over. And then Tuesday, we'll be doing another 79 and Hallis. Whether or not that's a season recap or getting ready for the divisional round is yet to be determined. But that's what we'll be dropping next week, man. So anything y'all want to say if we wrap this up, or we pretty much good to go?
Hey, we're good to go, man. World Baseball Classic in a couple months. So, I mean, just be ready to tap in with me on that. But no, man, let's get these playoffs rolling.
All right, man, that's all we got for y'all today, man. Of course, you know to follow me on all social media platforms at Barberchair Scott. You can follow Dante at October's Own Tay. Follow Bang at JR Bang. Subscribe to the Patreon. Subscribe to my YouTube. Everything, man. All the links in the description box. Just scroll down on your phone, on your smart TV, whatever device you're watching this show on. Scroll down. All the links on there, man. So stay locked. Bears fans, if you going to the game tomorrow, if you see me, holler at me. Let's make it loud, and let's finally put those bums in Wisconsin to the sword for the final time. Let's win, and let's be here on this show next week previewing the divisional playoff game at Soldier Field, man. So I'm going to holler at y'all. We up out of here.